Hi, this is Brad with Copper Creek Cuts, a lawn care company in Northeast Florida. Now today's video is the second, sponsored by Zep. This company was kind enough to send me some of their cleaners. The first was a degreaser, which if you didn't see, I broke my mower and shot engine oil all over it. No, it wasn't a stunt just so I could use their degreaser. It was unfortunate timing, or as I say in the video, it was good timing, depending on how you look at it. Today, we're going to take a look at their concrete and driveway pressure wash concentrate solution. So if you've never pressure washed with chemicals or with a detergent, this you can use as a primer, at least mentally speaking, to kind of get yourself in the frame of mind of what steps are involved. Now, it will vary depending on the specific detergent you use and your specific pressure washer. But those two disclaimers aside, this should give you a basic rundown of the steps involved for using detergent while you're pressure washing, whether it's your own house or commercially. Now here what we have is actually a brass Y adapter. So this is something that I brought. This plugs into the faucet and then lets you have two streams of water. Here is our commercial 25-foot hose going to our pressure washer. Here's a much lighter duty 50-foot hose that has just a regular spray nozzle attached to the end of it. This just lets us have another method of water disbursement or distribution without having to use the pressure washer. Gives us another option. This is the first time I've used this setup, but because of what I've seen in the instructions, I think this is gonna be more helpful than having to use the pressure washer for everything. So we'll go ahead and turn both of those on. We're gonna let the pressure washer start bleeding all the air out of its system. So here any second, this guy's gonna start bleeding out some air, you'll see. It's always very important to bleed all the air out of the system. I actually like just running this hose without anything attached, and then when it all seems like it's going good, then we'll put the wand on. All right, so now that our water's on, we can go ahead and load in our Zep. Now we need to worry about dilution. This, of course, is concentrate, so it needs to be diluted. But what we see is the machine setting of this unit, this specific unit I'm using, is 20:1. So when we put soap in here and we use, come on, don't you know I'm on camera? This soap nozzle, this system automatically doses a 20:1 dilution. This concentrated product must be diluted as directed prior to use. 6 ounces per gallon of water, 1:20. Well, wouldn't you know, that seems to work out right in our favor. That's what we want. We go ahead and fill this reservoir. We're going to apply it to the surface with our soap nozzle. We're going to let it sit for 10 minutes. And during that 10 minutes, it's important, well, I guess not even the 10 minutes, but after you put it on, it's important not to let it dry. It's got to stay wet. That's going to have another good use for that second hose. Now, this is going to be usable for concrete, brick, asphalt, and aggregate. It is not for wood, painted, sealed, or stained surfaces that won't be refinished. It isn't great for the grass, so what you want to do, hose down all the areas where this might get in contact, both before and after. Remember, folks, I'm a professional, so that this isn't what those roots are taking up. We want to kind of saturate them with water beforehand so they don't really take up too much, and then afterwards we kind of want to rinse whatever might have gotten there down past those root systems so that we don't run into any issues that way. Those are pretty much most of the precautions. Of course, when filling up, you want to have safety, so we're going to pour it as carefully as we can in there with our safety equipment, and that's pretty much all the talking. Now we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're all done, and the question is, how did the Zep do? It did lift the dirt much easier than water alone. Usually I've got to do not only an up and down, but then like a back and forth to prevent tiger streaking, or whatever you call it, tiger stripes, streaking. I noticed with this that I didn't have to do that because it lifted the dirt off even just in the first pass, but especially when you went back and forth. So it by itself helps to lift dirt off a lot more. Now for stains, you're definitely gonna have to kick it up past that 1 to 20. It does, saves you a lot of time on the actual pressure washing because it lifts the dirt and cleans it much quicker. So you do spend extra time wetting everything down and then applying it and maybe keeping the stuff wet if it's, you know, baking sun. I still think that extra time, it's worth it because it saves you time in pressure washing. That's the ZEP driveway and concrete pressure wash. If you've got any questions about this or anything about pressure washing, please leave them down below in the comments. In the description, you can find links to all the products that I used today, the pressure washer, the hoses, the nozzles, all that good stuff, the ZEP especially, if you're interested in that. So be sure and check that out. If you'd like to see some more videos, here's a few YouTube things you might like, including one on another ZEP cleaner that we tried out when I had motor oil all over the mower, and that's a fun story to go along with that too. So consider subscribing if you haven't so you don't miss new uploads whenever I post them. Thanks so much for watching. I really do appreciate it.